like the opening wood shot. Which is technically not.
Yeah, is it really? What is it?
Sorry, what?
What is that?
It's technically the town of Rochester. How are you?
You take such beautiful pictures.
Oh, thank you.
I do a lot of the polo pictures, you know, of Sammy.
Yeah.
And I got the camera and I got the tripod and
Oh,
I'm getting
nice.
there, I'm
That's
getting
awesome.
there, but I've been,
I have not had as much time this year as I've wanted to do that, but
the fall, you know.
fall's always great.
Yeah.
Always good time.
I still have trouble with focusing with the movement because I don't autofocus because it really depends on where the movement is, but with the sports photography catching
Yeah,
that little burst would be good.
a lot of it depends on the lens you're using
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Like some are much better than others for doing them.
Yeah. I've got a friend that I used to teach with who's a professional photographer, told me which lens
Oh,
to get.
cool.
So
That's
I
awesome.
went down to the city. and
Oh,
to
wow, that's awesome.
H&M. What is that place called?
Yeah, yeah. I know
Agent,
what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a good lens, but it's just me getting used to it, you know? It's
What
like-
is, do you remember what it is?
It's like a copy of a really expensive one. It goes
Yeah.
from like
What's
3D
the-
medium to like 600.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's really
But you
nice.
have to because.
No, I
So
agree.
now I have to learn how to use a monopod because I'm so tired.
No, so I have a,
So I don't know.
I have a 300
Uh-huh.
and it's the same thing. It's very heavy. So it's an expensive lens and I have the older model. House.
Mhm.
So I've had it for like, I think I had it for like 1,500. The year was like 4,000. Yeah, it was like an older version of a newer one that had come out.
Mhm.
And so I did that and I bought an extender. So it's a 1.4.
Ooh.
So it goes up to like 450 and
Right.
it's great, but
Yeah,
it's tough in low lighting. That's
Right.
the issue.
yeah.
But if
We're
you're
waiting-
outside doing
We're
horses,
outside.
then
It's
it's
the
different.
inverted, I think.
And we're
Yeah.
waiting for
Totally,
Julie.
totally.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But I still
Right,
have a
right there.
word.
On cue.
It's,
Hi.
I-
Nice to see you. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
that's your packet and it goes right there.
Thanks. Nice to see you guys.
I know.
That's weird. All that.
Real and in person.
No, I don't have to change it from.
Well, if you ever want to borrow the lens,
It's that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Canon.
it's a Canon.
No, that's awesome.
Well, it isn't really, it's like a Canon. No, it's not a Canon.
So
That's
I
why.
think Essie's going to be joining us remotely. And because she couldn't make it tonight, but we're all here, we can get started. And so I'd like to make a motion to open, let's see, we're recording and we're streaming. So I'd like to make a motion to open the June 16th, 2022 New Paltz Town Board as Police Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Make a motion to approve the agenda as written for the police commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And announcements. We don't have any police commission announcements and so I'd like to open up the floor for public input. If people have any comments, please, you can step up to the front and
Just a technical question, are the meetings going to be, are you discontinuing the Zooming meetings,
we are still live streaming the meeting right now.
but not Zooming?
We're not Zoom meeting. We noticed this as an in-person meeting.
Essie is
And-
zooming. Is it she or she's?
Future, will it be
She's
Zooming?
zooming. She's-
The plan is to, the governor's executive order allowing allowing meetings where you did not notice the location of each individual was supposed to expire 2 days ago. They extended it for another month till July 16th. So we had been planning to have this meeting fully in person, also because the town has been following the CDC guidelines for masking indoors, and because we were considered high spread, we would normally be wearing masks right now. But that was also lowered on Monday, so we were able to meet in person without masks on, so people can hear us without muffled voices. Part of, our plan is to meet in person, but it depends on COVID.
As of the moment, we're not going back to Zoom meetings, I understand the live stream.
Under the new law that was passed as part of the budget, you're supposed to have a quorum in person at a publicly noticed location. And so that's the plan unless things get really bad with COVID again. And so if anyone has public comments, please step up. And as usual, we try to keep it to 3 minutes, but you know, it's all new being in person, so
There's no mute button.
you're, and if not, if there are no public comments,
I do want to ask, do you plan to do a law like the village did where we can combine so that if folks want to participate, let's say they're a single mom and they got kids at home and they can't make it here, can still participate? Because we did our own new law.
we passed the law already. And we followed the model law that was given to us by the Association of Towns. And so
So you're not going to do a combination.
Well, we did.
probably there is the potential for combinations if we were doing, if any board members are meeting remotely, the public has given the same rights to meet remotely. So if a board member has, and we have as part of tonight's, you pass the law and then you also pass rules. And those, we made the mistake of not passing those at the law, but they're separate. There's a law and the resolution. And so that resolution is, it explains the procedures for how you decide. And the state was very strict about what is an allowable reason.
Right, we used that as well, but for the public, we wanted them to be able to join in, not just us. We wanted the public, we wanted to increase the most possible participation by the public. So we're allowing people to still Zoom in.
Julie Lewis,
I'm here, yeah,
your phone's dialing 911.
not that I see.
We just got a 911 misdial from your phone into the county.
I have 2 things that are not doing anything. This is,
911 just sent me here, I came running.
wow,
Thanks.
that's exciting.
It's time for public
Like, there's
comment.
nothing
This is
going
the
on.
best
This
This was
Okay,
part of our
I'll look
police
back.
commission meeting on the
Okay,
agenda.
so,
for
yeah.
this time.
I have my recent, there's one emergency call.
All right, I just wanted to make sure everything was all right.
Thank you.
Must be,
Thank
you.
you've hit it enough times, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
That's embarrassing.
So
Almost feel like that was planned.
Just checking to make sure how fast the
I thought it
response
was- I
time
thought it was-
is.
yeah.
just so everyone
Don't
knows,
take it
the
personally.
police can be here within minutes.
I know.
So,
It was a setup.
I'm calling my husband.
Thank you for answering.
and so,
Cool. That's a first.
My phone. I'm just gonna-
a motion, Essie's not here yet, but that's fine, but maybe we can move into motion to move into executive session to discuss personnel. And I'm asking the chief to join us.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Really to punish me.
So wait, how long ago did you call? I do want to see the response.
It must have been when I was like juggling it to get in here.
Right,
32.
It happens
No,
to
no,
me
31.
when it almost goes into that. I have to
That's
be
pretty
really
good. That's
careful.
like
So what,
5
do
minutes
you
long.
hit it a number of times?
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
funny.
Oh.
I thought it was about my daughter, of course. As a parent, you're like, of course it's about my daughter.
Of course.
I'm glad.
That's what, I'd be like, what? Saying, yeah, I saw your kid in front of my next door neighbor's house, by the way.
So the village is keeping Zoom?
We're keeping it as we're doing in person, but you can still Zoom in. We have to notice, and there has to be serious, reason why those of us who are on the board of trustees can't be there, and we have to notice if we're not gonna be there with enough time, where we're going to be. Or we can Zoom in and not vote if we haven't given the right amount of notice, because we have to be in a publicly acceptable place.
Now, they're talking about the resolution, but it's very confusing.
You can take a look at our.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's really very simple in some sense.
We
They're
do it
not
in the
allowing,
combined.
they're not allowing video conferencing.
I mean, they're letting people watch it, but they're not letting people
But if the term, I guess there's a
We're doing
distinction.
both, we're hybrid is what we call it. But we all have to be in person unless legally noticed properly and for the right reasons, with the right amount of time, it has to be a public place, accessible place. But we really wanted to make sure that everybody can still participate.
Yeah, it's an accessibility issue.
Yeah, we really want the public to be accessible, that's why we don't need any other, we move it to the home, we want to do something.
So down by the firehouse.
We are, yes, we have, depending on what's going on, they're not completely moved out yet. We were able to do that last time. Our last meeting was there. But we've also been meeting at the library. I don't know exactly when it's full time and what. Week by week showing until we finish with the police department. You know, fire department now.
Was it? Courtland was usable for
Oh, you mean down there?
that? Yeah. I mean, I remember
It's
one
not
time,
as, I don't think it's as accessible. I think it's
probably
a
more
down
city,
low,
it's
it's
got
more of a
stairs and
hoo-ha.
stuff.
It's, we're going for the most possible accessibility to make it easiest for the most
I've
people.
only been in there once.
We just, this is a lovely new building. I said, this is a lovely new building, we don't have a lovely new building, but, you know, we all see this.
Other plans to firehouse.
That is not in place. We currently have asked, the public for their ideas, so we'd like to see there, so please feel free to come and tell us what you want to see there.
As of what?
Wait, do you live in Woodbridge?
I have property.
So, yeah, so, you know, I mean, we'll listen to you. But,
And the village board is on one side of my property. Which has the disease side.
but, so. Have some ideas that you have.
What are we talking about?
We have a building that is publicly owned and we decide on the.
It's a firehouse or.
No, the court,
You trying to,
So
what
part-
to do with the old
so
village?
parts of it belong to the town and the town can move in there unless there's a chance there might be a switch in this. But there are plans to have the village and town both be there. So everything can be in one place.
Happens the moment that town or new homes.
This is town,
Right.
not village. So the firehouse just happens to be up here, which is, it's village run, but it's town also. They take care of everybody. But that was a village permit thing. So the building, the part of the building that is the 3 days. And I believe the meeting room that we're in, but I'm not sure of that. We're discussing what will go in there, whether we want to be like a landlord to somebody, blah, 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 blah. But we had some interesting ideas for that, but we're not sharing that yet. That's just ideas we're kicking around. What we want to know is what the public would like to see.
But just
And
to
then we'll
clarify,
try to
so,
see,
so,
and then we'll try to see, once we've heard what everybody wants, we'll think about what we think the most popular best idea is, and go from there.
but just back to the basics. There's room in the rest of it, this is courtroom.
The courthouse is owned, but so. the
No,
part-
I'm just trying to clarify now, the town is the town is gonna move in there and there's room?
Yes, there are some issues about how much room and if it's enough room and whether we can put people, blah, 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 but that's being worked out. And there is a chance because somebody else is making a proposal about. So there's a chance that will happen, but I don't know what's not.
There, and the town and or the village are spending money to make that,
The tenant.
only the village.
The
still
village
has
is
second station.
renovating, the village is renovating and moving out of our space. The space, well, the space that currently has village, a lot of the village stuff underneath. It's like next to the court offices. That will also be town. And they have, you know, plans, they work with architects, they have a whole thing. And then we have discussed, like, why can't we put these two next to each other, why don't you guys move the building here? You guys will decide if you want to do that. There's a lot. because this one wants this much space and this one wants it, and we really want to consolidate. as much as possible to make this simple. Kind of like let it happen, because we're all in the same space and let not organically it's gonna happen and not be so. You know, and I'm sitting there, like, this thing on, wait a minute, wait a minute.
You know, the-
I think-
the water
I think
bill.
Tim makes some really good points, and I think Neil makes some. I hope we can, you know, find a way to do what needs to be done in a fiscally responsible manner. That is what's best for the constituents, not for anybody else.
We've talked about this a lot, and we haven't heard anything as clear as it was. There's nothing that's going, we haven't had the, we've been focusing on some town issues, so we've been getting to the but I'm a full transparent, but I just haven't had time to do it. We have other
Listen, I
issues
don't-
and but the point is,
This
it
is
has
the
to
third meeting, fourth night you're all in the meeting. I can't believe that.
no, but all, you know, my hands off to public officials.
Well,
No,
no,
my
but
question,
last
my
night
question is
I-
more,
I-
like, what is the status? What is the status of this officially? Is there a, when was the last time that there was a meeting in which this was discussed and
I don't
discussed?
know. I don't know. I've been in on a meeting between officials where they were discussing stuff that had been discussed previously before I was
Was that a
on
public
it.
meeting?
That was, not all meetings have to be, that didn't have to be a public meeting. We didn't have quorum by the board.
I see.
It was me and Neil and Tim, and I think Corey was there. He's the village building inspector and the fire chief and the architect.
And for them to be able, for
A
them to
normal
be able to
meeting.
spend money. on
To
it,
figure out how they're gonna do the logistics and can we put these people in this building or can we put these, that was just a logistical meeting that you don't have to have in front of people to do it.
But it seems funny though, that we can be this far down the road.
Nothing is 100% go. I don't believe it hasn't been. I think nothing is, I think your questions have to be, you know,
Right.
and then you can ask questions. of
Yeah,
Tim.
the problem is, in order for us to know that, and ask the right questions, we have to have some information
I understand that. I.
to catch them too.
You know, we've asked what are the plans for the trailers?
I think you know this.
Yeah, we don't. So we have asked about what are the plans for the child care center. Down and for the trailers also.
They probably don't have decided.
Well, that's it's gonna be a discussion.
I would assume, well, they have to have a discussion. They have to have a discussion about it, because if they're gonna do stuff with that, then it has to go on. It has to go to public comment. They can't just do stuff without it going to public comment.
Right, but
So you're gonna get noticed when they have some clear idea of what they want to do. And then it will be a public, that's the word. There will be a public hearing when they figure it out. They haven't figured it all out. But they can't, it makes sense though, because they don't want to come to you with like no solid idea and no answers for you. Like that's the best way of the speculative time, right?
Will there be any future joint meetings between village and town?
Wasn't on hold. Just noticed.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
No, they seem to have been on hold for a while. Like, since the new year. Just haven't noticed that.
There was a movement to just
You come to theirs, but and then there's,
Well,
there used to be
there-
joint.
Yeah, the joint ones, what we have, I think, disagreed about where the journal should be and when it should be.
and the frequency.
And the frequency.
They talk about that meeting that often.
Yeah, they don't want to
They
go,
wanna put the kids
listen,
together.
as an elected official, I understand why it's not my money. I get it. I am liaison to the police commission, the school district, the ZBA, Millbrook Preserve. You know, and I have to, and I go to meetings just so that I understand what's going on and other things, and like, I'm
Does the-
amazing, you know.
Does the village have a,
Email every day.
village have a theme, an agenda set of issues of particular interest with respect to the police commission? Police department?
Not currently, like, if stuff is going on, I am the person who decides whether or not I need to bring something to the village board.
But you don't have particular issues there.
The issue I am working on, thinking about, as my last public, the last,
I don't know. Oh, about.
I'm trying to get eradicated and do something this.
Right.
No, I
I
know,
heard
don't
that.
get out of what you put in, I know that.
I'm sorry, just,
Yeah, that's.
What I'm trying to do is, I am trying to get the village and town, but specifically the town promised the NPPR, see what they were gonna do. What they
yes, yes, yes.
suggested,
Okay, okay.
I want them to fucking do it. It's taking too long, it's all. And, you know. But I wasn't expecting, so I didn't have much, I thought we would have. But I should. I've heard, for example, looking for people, you know, who should- I spent a lot of time reaching out to folks to get them to try, so. The shit's coming. And that was just, for instance, which is what I had a problem with. That I see that, for instance, that's not the only thing. With that corporation, told me what to do, he said, yeah, I know it's more work, you know, what homework, tough shit. You don't have to do that. Feel comfortable. I'm exhausted, and I'm like, I can't. And all the name calling shit that's going on and stuff and whatever, like, look, you know, people lumped in all the comments last night together. People don't know how to like discern the attention to bring. And people don't know how to don't know how to disagree respectfully. Okay, so I don't agree on it, but I'm still gonna give credit where credit is due. You know, we don't work well together, but that's okay. You know, but I'll still work with it.
And I appreciate what you're doing when you raise that question about.
The bottom line is, I'm gonna.
Well, you asked a good question about that.
But then. We will wait for them to get the numbers. They had new trying to get the numbers. I tried to get the numbers, something didn't work right about the numbers. I went back, I couldn't get the answers. They should, you know, gave it back there. They didn't follow up, except for making one phone call. That's a phone 10 email or whatever. That's number one. Try to track down the answers.
All right.
You know. I don't know. But I'm still gonna look at it. Julie and I are friends. I'm still gonna tell her, we should be talking about Saturday about it. Why would you?
Oh, yes.
I talked to my husband about this situation. You know, I tell my kids, don't be entitled to my time. Like, I'm not okay with that. None of us should be entitled to it, but like that particular thing. Because we got plenty of those. Way too many.
You know, we serve our board together.
I'm looking at that.
That's sort of the board's. Simple case of discrimination. That was many years ago, man, that 10 years ago. Oh, yeah, you're in that.
If he needs.
Combination of the new district, which is the new borough, can take like 30%.
I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
No action is being taken.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to review and forward to the town board for approval, hiring of Adrian Asensio as a part-time dispatcher effective July 1st, 2022, at the part-time dispatcher rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like motion to forward the hiring of Derek Olinsky to the town board as a part-time dispatcher, rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And so I'd like to make a motion to forward the hiring of Kaylin Marsh and Tiffany Claude to the town board for 90-day temporary full-time officers as the rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to hand over to the chief for the monthly report.
Thank you. So with the monthly report, just for my portion of that report, just the note and change in personnel that I forgot to include was obviously the retirement of Sergeant Pat Koch. He retired on May 30th after 33 years of service to the town of New Paltz Police Department. He started there as a dispatcher and then gradually moved up the ranks, part-time police officer, full-time officer, and sergeant. Okay. So he retired after 33 years of service here with us. I just want to thank him for his time here. As I noted at the time of his retirement, he initially intended on retiring on May 2nd. And in having some conversations with him at that moment, what that would do in terms of impact on staffing levels here, he put that off for till the end of the month to help us out. And it speaks volumes as to who he is as a person and his service to the community here. So I wish him, his wife and daughter a great time in retirement. Best of luck, he's earned it.
I did too.
Ditto that. Absolutely.
In the detective's report, just to note for the investigative highlights, the two cases that were in that. The first is regarding the arrest of an individual who was wanted for robbery second. This is a robbery that occurred on February 19th of 2022. Officers, we had identified suspects involved in that. Officers on patrol had identified and located those suspects on May 1st, one of those suspects on May 1st, and they were taken into custody here. Interviewed by detectives, and that case is being presented to the grand jury, Ulster County Grand Jury, in the near future. And the second case is a robbery first, criminal possession of a weapon case, or excuse me, burglary first, criminal possession of a weapon case. We responded to a 911 call for burglary in progress on May 26th at a residence here in the village. Officers arrived and observed subjects dressed in all black with masks fleeing from the residence. 3 subjects were taken into custody, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we review uses of force. A loaded firearm was recovered at the scene after being discarded by one of the defendants. All were charged here. We came to learn that at least 2 of the individuals were wanted in connection with a home invasion that had occurred 6 days earlier in Dutchess County. So our detective division worked with the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office and turned over some information to them that I hope was helpful in their investigation. Our case is being presented to an Ulster County grand jury hopefully in the near future as well. We have 4 commendations for this month. First is for Officers Claude, Miller, and Bernhardtson. This was a mental health call that they had responded to. And just the individual here wanted to thank the officers for their kindness and professionalism and their assistance, especially citing Officer Claude, whose advice and words of encouragement were extremely helpful at a difficult moment in this person's life. And just wanted to recognize all of them, but in particular, Officer Claude. The next commendation is for Officer Claude as well. She assisted a family with a lockout on Saturday, May 7th, and we received this email or this letter from a relative of theirs who was a police officer in the borough of Hillsdale Police Department down in Jersey. Just wanted to thank Officer Claude for arriving promptly, assisting them and getting them on their way so they were able to continue enjoying their time up here in New Paltz. The third commendation is for Officer Daniel Carpinelli. This again was another mental health call. We had received a welfare check for an individual who had was potentially suicidal. Officer Carpinelli had responded and made contact with this individual, spent some time with them, and was able to help connect them with mobile mental health and campus crisis. This was a SUNY student, so they were able to he was also able to help connect them with campus crisis counselors. And so the individual here just wanted to thank him for helping them and as noted in the letter, making them laugh when they were in a really dark place that morning, and just being there for her or them at that moment. And the last commendation is for Officer Milton, who assisted on a medical call at ShopRite. An individual in the rains that come out of ShopRite, it was raining, had tripped, fallen over their umbrella, broke their nose, and was bleeding. And Officer Milton had responded there to assist with rescue. He stayed until paramedics involved and was able to calm the patient down until the EMTs had arrived. And just wanted to thank him for his respect and kindness for the service he provided that day. Questions about any of this? So I think we have 3 calls for service involving defensive action. The first is for an incident that occurred on May 13th, 2022 at about 6:44 in the evening. It occurred on State Route 299. The subject involved here was a 21-year-old male, approximately 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, medium build, white. Officers had responded to a 911 call for a road rage incident where the operator of one of the vehicles had threatened the use and displayed and threatened the use of a firearm at another individual. The officer in question observed the vehicle matching the suspect vehicle description, heading eastbound on 299. The officer effected a vehicle and traffic stop, approaching the suspect's vehicle, and had his firearm out at the low ready. The subject or the vehicle operator complied with verbal direction. So at no point did the officer point their firearm at the individual, the operator. The ODAR, the defensive action report, was filed to document the unholstering of the firearm. A airsoft gun was located inside the vehicle and is what was displayed at the operator of the other vehicle in question. Based upon the investigation, the officer's actions in this incident were consistent with department policy and training. So for the next call for service or incident, we should be 4 reports filed with that. This incident occurred on May 15th, 2022 at about 3:42 in the morning in the area of 3 Plattekill Avenue. The subject involved here is a 21-year-old male, approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall, 160 pounds, medium build, white. In this case, officers were on foot patrol handling the disturbance when they observed a group of subjects actively fighting on the sidewalk in front of 3 Plattekill Avenue. The officers announced their presence, directing the individuals to stop fighting. They refused. One of the subjects was observed assaulting another. The officers, two of the officers confronted that individual who attempted to flee. They directed him down onto the ground where he continued to resist and was eventually handcuffed and taken into custody. So there are 4 reports, all for the same individual. The first report is documenting the use of a head pin technique when the individual was down on the ground to try to stabilize him, while the other officers attempted to gain control of the individual's arms to handcuff them. And then you have 2 reports filed by the officers who were attempting to handcuff this individual. The initial officer who directed this person down to the ground using a underarm hook, and then using an arm bar technique to grab control of one of the arms. The other report, or the third report, is documenting the use of an arm bar hammer lock to gain control of the arm and to cuff. And then the last report is documenting the leg lock that was used to control the individual's legs to keep them stable so that the officers could cuff. In reviewing all of these, all of the officers' actions involved in this particular case, video was reviewed, reports were reviewed, and the use of force in each of these reports was consistent with policy and training. Just, a side note, so you understand, one of the things that we try and we teach with defensive action is we want to minimize the struggle and we want to minimize the time on the ground. And so when you get a report where you have 4 officers involved with the apprehension, I know to people who don't necessarily know why or what that's about, that may seem too much, but it's done to maintain the struggle. It's less struggle. It really is to help mitigate any type of injury to the officers or the individual involved. And that's why there's no injury involved in this. And then the last incident is related to the burglary first that we talked about. So there are 5 reports that were filed from this incident. On May 26th, we responded to a report of a burglary in progress. A witness had observed 3 subjects running into a nearby residence wearing masks, and it was further reported that one of the subjects was in possession of a firearm. Officers on scene set up a perimeter. They observed 2 subjects who were attempting to flee the residence. The officers unholstered their weapons and pointed them at the 2 individuals that were attempting to flee the scene. They were directed to the ground verbally and then taken into custody. A 3rd individual was located inside the residence when the officers, along with one of our officers, and I believe at least one state trooper, one Ulster County deputy, sheriff's deputy, went into the residence to clear the residence. The 3rd subject was found inside. And this was after a loaded firearm was discarded out a 2nd floor window onto the ground. We recovered another replica gun inside the suspect vehicle as well. The people involved, there were 3 suspects involved in this case. The first is a 21-year-old male who was 6 feet 1 inch tall, 155 pounds, medium build, white. The second individual involved was a 20-year-old male, 6'4", 170 pounds, medium build, black. And the 3rd individual involved was an 18-year-old male, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 250 pounds, large build, black Hispanic male. Any questions and based upon the review and the findings, the actions of the officers were consistent with department policy and training. In terms of research, of course. Any questions about any of those? Going through the report, the only other thing that I wanted to highlight is in the monthly training report. First is that all of our members have completed the Integrated Communications Assessment Tactics training, the ICAT training. This is through PERF, the Police Executive Research Forum. This was the Train the Trainer program that Lieutenant Butler attended last November. And what this training does is it integrates basically CIT and tactics. We use it, and it includes a reality-based training component. And so all of our members have attended this in service, the classroom portion, and then we include this, incorporate this in all of our trainings as we move forward, whether it be our firearms and defensive tactics at the range or future reality-based training, or any mental health in service training. All that is integrated. The foundation of this program is integrated into all other aspects or components of our training here. And then the other is just to highlight that we sent Detective Judge and Officer Snyder to a training that was put on at Ulster County Community College. It was in service of the Sheriff's Department, but done between the Sheriff's Department and the Workers' Justice Center of New York on responding to, investigating, and prosecuting cases of immigrant victim domestic and sexual violence. It was a very good program. From what I've heard from both the members that we sent, what was especially helpful or insightful was just the resources that are available to us should we have to handle any calls like this, and who we can lean into, and especially when you talk about trust issues with the police, and who we could potentially lean into to help make sure that victims are represented and cared for. So, and that's all I have in the monthly report. Unless there's any questions.
No questions. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the police commission meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I'd like to make a motion to call the town board meeting of June 16th, 2022 to order.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So much better than usual.
I'm not sure why
Sometimes
the camera's not really
I know,
picking.
I don't know why that noise is like that.
Now it's
so
picking.
awkward.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda. I'd like to add a new item 19, advertisement for a position in buildings and grounds.
Second.
We're removing item 1.
And removing item 1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. All right, so. All right, so let's see, announcements. The, some good news. Moriello Pool will be open 7 days a week, beginning Saturday, June 18th, which is very early. But because of Juneteenth holiday,
Yeah.
there's no one's in school, and then there are half days all week. And so we have the staff available, and we'll be opening the pool. I think it's one of the, full week before school gets out, but it's gonna be open noon until 7:30 p.m. daily. So I'd like to thank Bill Russell and his crew for making this happen.
Yeah, I thought it was till 7 at first and then not till 7:30 at another time. Did that change?
Look on the website. That's what I have written down.
At the website, I saw different.
So look at the website, and they'll announce it when the pool is closing. So all town offices will be closed June 20th in observation of Juneteenth holiday. The community center will be closed June 17th till the 28th for all activities due to early voting. So there's an early voting site in New Paltz, so please take advantage of it. And With that, if anyone else has any announcements,
I just want to add that there's still COVID tests for people who are listening, and they're here, they're at the community center, they're at the town buildings, so if anybody needs them, they're there. Just for a reminder, if you want to test.
yeah, we just got another shipment from the county, so.
There's a youth program too.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
So
Thank you,
if
yeah.
your kids go to this youth program, they can bring some home.
Yeah.
We have some outside the office here. So with that, I'd like to open up the floor for public input. If anyone has any public comments, please come forward.
Hi, I'm Donna Weisberg. Quick question. People are asking about fireworks this year. So I don't know if there's a plan for fireworks or not. I know you don't usually go back and forth, but it's a really quick question.
Well, the fireworks for the last several years has been run by volunteers. The town hasn't been involved for maybe 4+ longer years now. I don't know what the volunteers are doing. My guess is nothing because of COVID and uncertainty. Hopefully, some volunteers will step up next year. But the town doesn't run the fireworks.
Got it. Thanks.
Please.
Just two things. I only recently, today, read the proposed regs for the video conferencing. I guess I agree apparently with the point of view that the village has taken, that for accessibility reasons, the Zoom option should be available to the public at all times. There are just times when it's very difficult to come and it shouldn't be off the board to be able to contribute. And I guess the other thing is, I know you're discussing a lease for a police vehicle a little later. I don't know if you're discussing it or whether you're just voting on it, but if you could take a moment just to explain the economics of the lease, that'd be great. Thank you.
I have a comment question regarding the audit report that was presented at the last meeting.
What report, I'm sorry?
The
Audit.
audit report.
Okay.
Actually, I worked with that auditor in the school district for a number of years, so I know the way he operates and thinks. There was one graph that he had that indicated regarding the funding that was available. And I was a little confused about, he said that there was funding, extra funding for the Department of Highways. Is that in fact the case right now? And then that the roads not can be repaved?
Well, remember, that's what they audit the 2021 budget.
Right.
So at the end of 2021, there was extra fund balance. I think some of that was used. So it really depends what's in the budget right now.
Okay. So there'll be information in the future about the repaving of the roads?
So.
I mean, right now, I mean, when we've talked about it, the highway supervisor is here, but now's not the time to be paving roads, right? If you can put things off right now because do patch jobs, but right now pavement, you're gonna pay a lot more for pavement.
Okay, I
So,
understand that.
Probably now's not the best time to do paving, that's my understanding is that we're fixing things that are unsafe. And the idea is you're gonna be spending a lot more to do the same amount of work right now versus hopefully in a year from now.
Okay, thank you.
But Chris, you can.
$50 was our last year. As of today, it's $80. So the plan is to patch pave.
Okay.
Since we don't have a lot of money to patch pave, probably I haven't did before yet. We'll do one CHIPS project, which will be Elliott's Lane. It's too much patch pave. They usually do it, but it costs us more in the long run. And that's approximately $118,000.
Excellent.
That'll be it.
Well, that's-
Yeah, that'll be it.
And thank you so much for opening the pool early. It's really, really.
Hi, Stephen.
So item number 2 is motion to hire Adrian Asensio as part-time dispatcher effective July 1st, 2022 at the part-time dispatcher rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 3 is motion to hire Derek Olinsky as a part-time dispatcher effective July 1st, 2022 at the part-time dispatcher rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4 is motion to appoint part-time officer Kalen Marsh to a 90-day temporary full-time officer at the rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And number 5 is appoint part-time officer Tiffany Quad to 90-day temporary full-time officer at the rate outlined in the collective bargaining agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6 is municipal lease purchase proposal for a 2022 Ford SUV hybrid marked police unit through ROC Leasing LLC, DBA Real Lease. Lease term is as follows: 1 payment of $7,000 due at the document signing, followed by 4 annual payments of $15,078.23 each, beginning 1 year from closing. Current municipal rate is 5.9%. I don't know if you want to explain that, chief, like the,
So we get the vehicles through the cruiser division. Kent State Bank or RC leasing. That is the rate that's quoted for that. That includes all of the equipment that has to be placed into that vehicle as well. It's not just for the vehicle. It's for the lights, the sirens, the mounting solutions for the radios, the computer systems, the printers, all of the equipment that goes into that vehicle. That's included in that lease.
So Robin, my dad would say, do we really need it?
Yes.
Okay,
The vehicle is replacing is a 2017 Ford sedan.
right.
That is costing us money in terms of maintenance and service.
Yeah.
We're also more costly in terms of gas. The hybrid SUVs have been phenomenal in terms of gas usage. They're great. These vehicles idle, and officers out at the scene, oftentimes for completing a report, that vehicle is up. 2017 is idling, it's using gas. These hybrids are running off of that.
and
So
if,
we're saving fuel,
Right.
we're saving maintenance money, we're saving oil, money for oil filter changes. This is the next best thing to an all electrical vehicle is having these hybrids. I'm hoping that we can continue to replace our fuel only with hybrids and eventually find a good electric vehicle that we can place in that to serve as a patrol.
I mean, the other thing is, we talked about it, right? The, and maybe that's the case for this one, is that they have so much equipment in them that you have to, the batteries aren't big enough in a regular car to just turn the car off.
Right.
So the cars have to be idle. And it used to be that, you know, you were,
I always wondered about that.
you had to
Those
do
the
maintenance.
police cars are
um,
constantly idling. Okay,
It used to be that, you know, for the warranties and the lease, you had to do maintenance every certain number of miles.
Mhm.
They've changed that. Now it's number of hours.
Mhm.
And so, you know, the car may have 20 miles on it, but it was idling for many hours. And so you're going through what used to be considered miles.
Right.
And so the maintenance costs go up. That's not the case with the hybrids.
Mhm.
So you're saving money on maintenance costs and leasing costs and gas costs.
so long-term costs. Yeah, I think it's just important to, get that information, because I do feel people at large, they look at the two big departments and the money that goes into them, and it just looks like a chunk, dollars, but you start breaking down for long-term investment. And you start seeing that investment will save the department's money in the long run, because you just see it as a purchasing of yet another new vehicle.
We try to balance, we try and do is replace a vehicle every 4 years is what we look at doing.
Mm.
We have, because of the financial constraints we experienced with COVID, we eliminated vehicle lease in the last, at least one vehicle lease in the last 2 budgets. So if we continue to put this off, then we are going to spend more money in the maintenance of the vehicle fleet that we have.
Right.
And if we have vehicles that are out of service, then we begin running the mileage up on the remaining vehicles
Mhm.
that we do have. And then that then in turn forces maintenance on those vehicles. So we have normally 8 marked patrol units, and you don't want to go more than that, but going less than that can put, put a serious, more wear and tear on the vehicles themselves.
Thank you.
Can I just ask about the purchase versus lease?
Well, the lease is a bigger upfront cost, and you don't necessarily save as much purchasing it upfront. By leasing, we're also able to spread the cost out over several years. But at least what I've seen in the past is the lease and the purchase prices aren't all that different, because we're selling them after 4 years.
If you purchase.
Yeah.
And if you lease, you don't.
Yeah, we just give up the lease.
Yeah, switch it back out.
In this particular lease, we will get this vehicle for $1 after.
Okay.
And then the hope is that, because it's a hybrid, we could get another year out of that before we even have the vehicle replaced. And if not, then what we try and do is work with the Tarrant Highway Department to auction off vehicles so that we can get some funding for that. I know that is the next item on the agenda.
Motion to authorize the supervisor to sign all associated documents for the municipal lease purchase of the vehicle.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve the auction of a 2016 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicle through the auction services utilized by the Town Highway Department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion to adopt guidelines for video conference meetings for the local law. Guidelines have been posted on the town website.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And those guidelines again are the ones that we got as model guidelines. We have not changed them at all. So all in favor? Said that?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to authorize 9A through 9I on the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I actually wanted to ask one question. Sorry, I
Yeah.
never heard it there. The COVID testing site agreement.
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to.
If you want. So that is, we were called by, is it Cumulative? It's a testing organization. They have they do about 10% of the tests in the whole country.
Yeah.
They're looking to start mobile sites around. It's no cost to the town. It's no cost to the people who are being tested. Their insurance pays for it. They want to basically bring a van and park at the community center 1 day a week. Probably from 8 to 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And they do PCR tests, and they get the results back pretty quickly. This is,
Same day?
I don't know if it's the same day or not. Maybe.
PCRs?
Yeah.
Or not?
Probably not, but
Yeah.
I think they have to get them back to the FedEx site by 3
Yeah.
o'clock, but I think it's fairly quickly.
Okay.
They, there's no, if we don't like it, we can cancel it anytime.
Do they come every day or do
They're gonna start once a week.
they, once a week? Okay.
They called up, my thought was, well, it's in the parking lot, we have room. It's harder to find local test sites here in New Paltz.
Yeah.
There are many in
It is.
Kingston and Poughkeepsie,
It's very hard.
but this will give people another option. They don't have to go there, but if they want to, they can. And,
We gotta go.
the people who are running it are mostly interested in, right now, the numbers are low again,
Mhm.
but they said, there's a good chance they'll go up again in the fall, and they're trying to work out a system, and they're gonna start in New Paltz, and they may go to other towns in the county. They came here to maybe go to ShopRite or something like that, and someone said, well, why don't you talk to the town? And they did, and,
Yeah.
Great.
Here we are.
Here we
yeah,
are.
so
Fortunately.
hopefully it works out.
Yeah,
Hopefully no one ever has to go there,
right.
but we know that's not gonna happen, so hopefully it'll work out. That's all I have for that.
Now, we publicize the.
Yeah, once we get authorized, we're gonna put it out on the town's website, social media, once we, get the days. They may try out different days, but they want to settle into New Paltz, and then they kind of want to, like the DMV van has a
Right.
set place every day,
Yeah.
at different places around the county. They're trying to set something up like that. They're based in Poughkeepsie, but they'll send the van here every day. And, they're gonna be meeting with, I'll set up a meeting with the other town supervisors, and they'll try to do the same sort of thing.
Be nice if there was a little plastic sign on the road that said COVID test here too, so people driving by know, that they're aware that it's here. I don't know, it might be helpful.
Yeah.
As PR. thing.
Yeah, so number 10 is
Exciting.
we are, every year they have these downtown revitalization grants. The state does them, with the annual grant cycle, and they pick different downtowns to kind of fix. We have, we've been trying to work on the sewer plant at Sewer 6 for many years. You often get, you kind of go up in ratings when you apply for multiple grants at the same time. So we're going to be applying for a sewer grant to replace the plant at Sewer 6 and connect it to the village. But at the same time, if you think about Ohioville, I've talked to the town historian. Ohioville used to be called Helltown, but before it was Ohioville. It was a vibrant little hamlet. And then the thruway came through and kind of killed it.
Yeah.
And so this idea is that we ask for some money from the state to kind of revitalize Ohioville and turn it back. The town went through the effort of rezoning it back in 2017, 18, to increase density. So we want more businesses, we want more people living there. We take the sewer plant out. Right now, there's public transportation back and forth to Poughkeepsie. There's a park and ride there. If this grant would be asking for, bring in some other amenities, maybe better sidewalks, when we get rid of the sewer plant, maybe we could put like a little park there because we still have a pump station. Right. So the idea is like, let's try to fix what was broken by the Thruway Authority, because now you can actually walk from there to downtown. And so it's not like this little separate place. We want to turn it back into a nice little hamlet. We want more people living there. And the idea is like, we'll apply for this grant and who knows, but
We've applied a few times,
Yeah.
but I'm actually really, really excited about this one. I think it's important that we're not to knock our beautiful Main Street, but I think it's really great that we're also looking at different parts of our town as
Yeah,
well and
absolutely.
acknowledging that, we can do different and interesting things there as well too. So I cross my fingers, we'll see, but I think it's great that we're trying something very
Is
different.
this a state grant?
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
state grant. I
State
mean,
grant.
the other idea is like, the town passed this, preservation plan, right? So we want to preserve open space. But at the same time, people need to live and work somewhere. And so we have to increase density in other parts. And it makes a lot of sense to increase density along that corridor, which is why we rezoned it. So, people can, if you were to have more housing there, or, you have public transportation, you have a park and ride, you have a bike path.
We need
you can
affordable
walk.
housing. That would be ideal.
And so, but we can't do anything until we get,
Yeah.
right now, we're limited by sewer capacity.
Right.
And so the idea is that we connect it to the village, but at the same time, it's not just building a pipe, it's finding other parts in town sewer districts where we don't talk about sewer and water as much as the village, but where we have pipes that are leaking and water leaks into those pipes. And so if we fix those leaks, we've then added capacity to the sewer plant. And that lets you then, add affordable housing or businesses
Right.
or something like that.
Becomes far
And
more
so-
appealing, yeah.
So
For
it's,
investors.
that's why we're applying for these grants, because it's a lot more expensive than just putting a pipe in. You have to like go find leaks in other places. So that this is, I guess, motion to pass the resolution to apply for the DRI grant.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This next one is a motion to pass a resolution establishing a capital reserve fund for recycling. So we've sold some recycling equipment. We're also applying for more grants for the recycling center to kind of add, fix some of the equipment, hopefully add more composting capacity, compost more quickly, but we've sold some equipment and now we want to put into a reserve fund, and then that money gets used as a match if we get these other grants.
Mm.
So we're kind of, getting 2 for 1. So motion to establish the capital reserve fund for recycling.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is number 12 is motion to sign the IMA between the town and the village for plant watering.
Second. that.
Second.
Oh, boy.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks,
you.
Alex.
Yeah, thank you,
guys.
Alex. And
Those
and thank you,
those
Chris.
Thank you, Chris, for, they
Thank
look
you.
so pretty.
Yeah, it sure
They
does.
really do. They're beautiful.
And the frogs kept they growing.
They look beautiful.
Number 13 is Chuck Bordino, our recreation director, is retiring August 27th. So motion to accept his resignation, and then he's going to work for us 32 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week. And we'll use some of that extra money to bring in a part-time worker, but Chuck's easing out. And so motion to accept Chuck Bordino's resignation for retirement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And motion to,
Thank you, Chuck.
yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Motion to authorize the reduction of the recreation director's schedule to 32 hours a week at current rate of pay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then motion to hire a part-time recreation aide at a rate of $15 per hour for 8-hour week.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I just ask what they would be doing?
I mean, they'd probably be there when Chuck isn't there, so someone is there at the community center, like helping out with senior luncheons, and there when we have, there's it depends on when Chuck is there, but I think the big part is that someone is there like during the day for the most part when, there's like children's hour. So I think that's kind of what mostly it is. I think doing things that he's not doing because he's only there 32 hours a week instead of 40.
Are we back to children's hour?
As far as I know, I think so.
The COVID thing.
The next one is to set a public hearing for purchase of county land at auction. So this was, we had a public hearing a year ago. We bought a few parcels. Someone came to public hearing and said, I don't, I want to buy that land. And so we withdrew our request. They subsequently said they don't want to buy the land. And so, we told the county that we're actually interested in that parcel again, and they pulled it off the auction list. And so now we can have a public hearing, and then if we want, we can, I think we get 30 acres for $2,500, but it's adjacent to all of the other parcels that we already bought. And the idea is that that's, we're trying to kind of plant a seed of building a bigger section of land in the Swartikill with easements on it.
Second.
And that is for Thursday, July 7th at 7 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is for June warrant in the amount of $1,322,678.45.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Number 18 is, this is a resolution increasing water and sewer rates. We buy our water and sewer capacity from the village. They have raised their rates. And so that just kind of gets passed through to our customers. And so this is something that we have to do, because if we don't raise the rates, we can't pay the village.
Yep.
And so what they charge us.
What's the
So
percentage that's being raised?
20, it's a lot. It's Water rate shall increase between 22.65 and 29.49%, depending on consumption. The more you use, the more your rate is increasing. And sewer rates are going to be increasing 25.71% to 32.69%. And that's just based on what the villages, the rate, the increases that they're charging us. So
Yeah.
we don't have any choice.
And do we know why, were they increasing, why they increased? Is it just inflation? I mean, is it just access? Is it, do we know where the origin?
We
of that
only
increase
learned
is?
about it in the paper. And then
Yeah.
once we got the notice from the village saying that our rates were going up, we didn't get any details.
Sure.
But it's too bad Stana left already. We could ask her.
Yeah.
They voted on it at their last meeting.
Water's a human right.
What's the human right? Yes.
Mhm.
So all in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
Last one is a motion to, we have a buildings and grounds worker that has, we accepted their letter of resignation tonight. And thank Chris for his working for the town. This is a motion. I know Chris wants us to hire, has requested that we hire a full-time person. Right now, my request is that we hire a full-time temporary person, like we had last summer for 3 months, to make sure we get the mowing done. And we can also advertise, but we want to get someone hired right away. And then we can kind of wait things out. We're also trying to save some money for a little while before we hire someone, make a commitment to a full-time person. So all in favor of
Second.
hiring a full-time, advertising to hire a full-time temporary person?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that's it. Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
They're still signing. Really, like,